right, we're going to have a Q&A panel with most of the folks that are involved in Phuket City Wi-Fi, and we want to dig into that. Plus, we're going to ask RJ Low to come back and also discuss monetization with us, also in connection with cities. So I'd like to ask all you guys to come in to the stage. PK Lim, Mick Bailey from Cisco Meraki, PK, of course, from SpotWorks. And RJ, please come back. And Mr. Samsak, VP Wireless Business Development of CAT, is also here. So please come on up here, everybody. And I hope we've got hand microphones for you. Please come on back. Do we have two more microphones, maybe? One more? So maybe we're going to have to share. So come on up here, guys. And yeah, there we go. So gentlemen, it's really good to have you. And yeah, well, we'll have to share them a little bit. I think we have another one. So it's good to have you here. And I wanted to dig into the Phuket City Wi-Fi story, first of all, and then we'll talk about monetization more generally, because I think it's such a good blueprint, or such a good base case, if you like, that can be extended to many places potentially. And you guys have really worked out all the details. Maybe what I should do is start with Samsak from CAT and just ask a little bit about CAT's role in the Phuket City Wi-Fi project and what experiences you have gained from that. Is it on? Oh, there you go.
Okay. Actually, I heard a question about this, what we implement in Phuket also,
yes.
Right? Okay, actually, what we do in Phuket right now is, firstly, we start with deploy the 128 AP in Phuket. In that role, actually, we provide it for free. And then after that, you might heard that we implement more another 1,000 access point throughout Phuket. Actually, the second phase belongs to the government. We try to promote the Phuket as a smart city. Actually, in Thailand, we talk about smart city for a long time.
Yeah.
Phuket is one of the first smart city in Thailand. So the government try to push some money to the place. CAT role is we provide the infrastructure. Actually, we are originally the telecom operator. So we think that we should give some contribute to the city. Yes. So that's why we start with the first one, to give it for free. And mostly of the free Wi-Fi that we give to the people is to make the smart tourism. Because not only actually it's not smart only, it's not only the access. We also provide the application that the customer can download it and will see the information that the governor would like to inform to the end customer for all tourists.
So PK, maybe we can bring you into this discussion. You're co-founder of SpotWorks, obviously also deeply involved in the Phuket City project. Couple of things I want to ask you about. You're obviously successful on the Phuket City thus far. Do you think this kind of project where the government is involved, where local businesses involved, and yourselves and so forth, can be replicated? Are you bullish on that possibility?
Yes, it can be replicated throughout any places that we want to go. But the most key ingredient that make this a success is the partnership, a strong partnership that we have between CAT, us, and also with Cisco Meraki,
right,
to make sure that the deployment is done properly, grow out nicely, and also be a strong cooperation for the local governments. So
and the contribution, obviously, from the local government, and I think it is the local, it's not the Thai government as such, it's Phuket City government, has been significant in this, right?
It's also the role of the central government, the ministries of digital economy is the one that's in charge of the project.
Yeah.
So, but with the cooperation of the local government, we'll be able to identify the right location to deploy the necessary Wi-Fi to cover the right places, and also to make sure that they have the exact access to the right places and also the poles to be able to set up the Wi-Fi.
Right, that's super important.
Yeah.
RJ, I'm going to get you in just a moment, but I wanted to ask Mick first, because you guys are obviously deeply involved in the city project, and because you are the vendor there, and one of the things that I came across when I read about the story was the speed of the deployment, and which is I think we should credit CAT, but we should also credit the cloud and these tools that Meraki offers. Would you say that's a big part of how you could deploy this so quickly? Or?
Yeah, Klaus, absolutely. With the cloud, obviously it means that we take away a lot of what traditional networking would mean, big setup and a lot of actual planning and provisioning beforehand. With cloud, it means that all you're deploying, as long as you've got the access from CAT, is the APs on the poles with obviously the power, and they're connected. Yeah, the original deployment of the 120 APs, as Sunil said, we did that in 5 days between Christmas and New Year, so it was a massive achievement.
That is incredibly fast. And the integration towards the analytics platforms and so forth was done by Spotworks, I guess, or together with you, and were there any challenges there?
Yeah, so again, the benefit of a cloud network is that we have an API open back end, and basically that means that anyone that can integrate into our API can basically then start developing their apps, getting all the rich analytics from the back of the cloud, and using that to their advantage.
So this is very much also in the vein of some of what these gentlemen are doing together in Phuket is very much in the same spirit as what you're trying to do. So the monetization killer app, if you like, is as I see it, primarily the combination of being able, obviously, to deliver ads, but in a very specific location to a very specific profile, right? I mean, that's the idea. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, thanks, Klaus. Thanks for putting me here in a very big project. I hope I can go home with Phuket in CatFix. Yes, definitely. Yeah, because first of all, Phuket itself is a fantastic location, but we still need to go down to the very, very small outlets inside because Phuket is still too big for some brand owners. They like to have specific outlets within Phuket itself.
Business by business.
Business by business, yes. Some good for the fashion, some good for F&B. There are many, many different reasons. But I think it's good to start with one smart city into CatFix, hopefully. And then inside there, we'll encourage those outlets to list with the CatFix, yes.
PK, in terms of businesses in Phuket, I don't know if they're already now extracting value or whether this is something that you're working with them on. The monetization of this is based on the data and the location and potentially ads as well for the businesses. Is that right?
The data that we collect is on the specific target that we want to have, and we are now working together with the CAT and also the local government and also the ministry to see how we can do it in the correct manner in the Thai style in order to make sure that the right messages get to the right person, and also we'll be able to help the Thai government to target the right tourists to come back again and again.
Samsak, do you have a view on what the project has done locally in terms of socioeconomic impact? Do you have some measure of that? Is the government in Phuket City, for example, pleased with this? Did they see some effect?
Yeah, actually, I would like to add more the comment because the 1,000 AP actually is the money is from the government and they ask CAT to implement. So the ministry also asked us how to make the money, or the government don't want to pay for the next year.
Yes.
So that's why we have to work with PK for to get some information from the user who use our access point. As everybody know that there is no freelance. So if even you access free, but you need to distribute something, right?
You guys have other projects in the pipeline? Can you talk about any of that, or you want to say anything about it? Is it official, unofficial?
Yeah, actually, for your question, actually, we are trying to expand our business not only in Phuket but in some small place of the city. Right now, we are talking the plan to put it in Chiang Mai. And actually in some big city, but we might not do it for the whole city,
Right.
but focus on the place that they have a lot of tourists.
Right,
Okay.
right. So Mick, big perspectives is also for you guys getting involved in something like this. I mean, generally speaking, in your area, how do you see the smart city or the city Wi-Fi market developing in this part of Asia?
I'd say in Asia it's really just starting.
Yeah.
Right, we're seeing many cities that are talking about smart cities, but what does smart city really mean?
Yeah.
We start getting into IoT, we start getting into sensors, and then it starts making sense. Public safety. So for the whole market in Asia, I think we're really just scratching the surface.
Mm-hmm. And is it always really a question of getting? I suppose if it's a city, we're talking about quite often a government or city government involved to get a consortium, public-private type of organization involved in this. I mean, that would be a necessity, I guess, in a lot of cases.
Yeah, and it's getting it right.
Yeah.
I've seen deployments that have been going for 18 months, 2 years now that
Yeah.
haven't really got off the ground. They've tried to monetize, but it's choosing the right partners to actually do it with.
Right.
And if you don't have the right ecosystem to begin with, then you can spin your wheels and spend a lot of money with no return, because it's all about now actually monetizing, and so that the end user, the government, for example, they're not the ones that end up paying at the end of the day.
Right.
That's the goal.
Right, but it's a good example of a government obviously contributing with funds and then expecting it to be sustainable from there on. I mean, we've got examples hopefully coming up in Europe of that sort of thing as well, and elsewhere. So I mean, that's a good partnership, right? That's a good model. RJ, in Malaysia, are you doing any work with smart city or city Wi-Fi? Is that a popular thing?
Yes, the term smart city is very popular in Malaysia, but we don't really see it really happen.
No.
But it's very popular, and even a smart state, right?
Yeah.
Which is proposed by State of Selangor.
Yeah.
We do keep in touch with the state Selangor. They have one special agency look after the how to make the state smart. So we sort of giving them some ideas, because they can see our contribution, whereby in terms of ROI, when just like the gentleman mentioned, the government were putting some money. I will call it seed fund. Somebody had to put the
fund,
money and get it started. The seed fund, but then the state owner cannot be just continue pumping in money. They need to be sustainable. So I mean, the one thing that can help them sustain is the monetization part of the investment.
Yeah. It's really good input. Any questions for our panel here today? There's one. Do we have any more microphones? Otherwise, you're just going to have to stand up and shout, sir. Yeah. Did you hear the question? What is the best practice of pushing ads without damaging? Yeah, go ahead.
You need me
please.
to
Yeah,
repeat
it's better,
that?
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, this question is for Sportworks and Catfix. The question is, what is the best practice for delivering ads downwards to the users without annoying them or damaging the brand or the advertisers?
Yeah. Best practices for ads without damaging the brand of the advertisers.
For us in Sportworks and also with CAT, our rule of thumb is very simple. If let's say it annoy myself in getting the message, don't do it. So we try our best to make sure that even though we want to monetize, we target with the right people, make sure that it's not sent out too frequently, make sure that it's maybe less than 3 a day, so that it will be easier for the customer to be engaged better.
If I can offer my comment as well. This is a very good question. In fact, this is the question that when I talk to the FMCG advertisers, the brand owners, big guy, right? Like this L'Oreal, P&G people. The one thing they ask is will people like to watch Wi-Fi advertising? Because it annoys me, right? This is the first question, just like the gentleman asked just now. But I think Sportworks presenter just now answered it very, very well. The traditional way of pushing advertisement is I push you everything. That annoys me. But if you push a relevant advertisement, it doesn't annoy me. I will thank you for that, actually, right? Therefore, the system should be very, very smart. That's why they need the time to build up the data, right? the big data, understand who you are as a person. But the machine may not recognize you as a person, but recognize your handphone. They know your profile, you like certain things. If you like sports, the machine, the equipment will push all the sports related advertisement to you. So the advertisement will not being pushed like kitchenware, right? The kitchen appliance to you. That is annoying. But it pushes sport-related product with big discount, you probably like it. Some of this is important is we need to educate these advertisers that they need to tell us very clear who are your target consumers. In the meantime, we need to share with the provider that are you be able to analyze the profile of the consumers and put this advertisement to the relevant target audience.
Exactly. So there's an information or educational aspect to this, right? So also, I was going to ask Pekan, maybe Kat, and maybe Mick as well, if you want to comment on if local businesses are going to benefit in Phuket, for example, then they also need to know what are the capabilities and how to, what the tools are and what they can actually do with this in order to get, benefit from this. And there's some work for you guys to do on sharing information, right?
Well, that's the main reason why we are working very closely with CAT, because CAT have presence all across the country.
Yeah.
So they have local sales team on the ground, and we already set up our own office and our team over there to go to the local business to get them to be educated about what we are doing and how they can engage with their clients that they're working by.
Mick, is it common because you guys have an analytics platform as well? Did you? Yeah, you guys have an analytics platform for them, right? Do people, generally speaking, are starting to find out what to do with this, or is it a hard sell actually to?
No, it's actually it's a really easy sell. Analytics out of the box with Meraki is there. Everyone gets it for free. They see what it can do out of the box, and then they're asking questions. Well, if I can see this, what else is there that I can do? Yeah. And that's through the cloud API that we have that these guys can then use their rich like algorithms and programs to do the targeted advertising that makes it meaningful. As we talk about, it's not about junk mail as such. It's actually something that you want to see based on your demographic.
Any last question for our panelists here? Okay, guys, I really want to thank you for coming. It's a really great project. I congratulate you on. Oh no, there's one. What was the one? There's where? Oh, there. Okay, sorry, I didn't see it. Behind the light.
Hi, this is Animesh from Mojo Networks. So I have a question related to your public Wi-Fi deployment, where you're trying to monetize the Wi-Fi network. I want to ask you during the deployment phase and even post the deployment, in the long run, what are the operational challenges that you guys have to face in terms of getting the network up and running and ensuring that the user is getting what you have actually deployed for them? So any challenges that you face, in terms of Wi-Fi experience and Wi-Fi deployment, loss of connectivity, because these public Wi-Fi devices are deployed, at random locations across the city, or even across the country. So managing it from a central point, how do you manage that? How do you,
Any challenges in performance, in actually getting the right quality, the physical connectivity layer? That was your question, right?
Yeah, in terms of operational.
Operational and physical. I mean, how well does it work? Are you getting some feedback? Are the KPIs met? Yeah, you use KPIs. Talking about Phuket City Wi-Fi.
Yeah, actually, I think the KPI might belong to CAT because we provide the infrastructure. Yeah. So we provide, we make the guarantee to the government or to the local government that we will provide the how many speed. For example, in Phuket, we provide 100 megabit per second. Yeah. That I think that is the most fastest speed for Wi-Fi right now.
Yeah. Okay. And it's are you collecting? Are you monitoring?
Yeah. Actually, our network have the NOC, so we monitor all the link, and also for the Milaki also have some back office, so we can see which one is on or off, and how many bandwidth that go to the access point. Right. So we use that one to make the best quality for the end customer.
So there's a question there at the back. Do we still have a microphone available? There's one. Just hang on till you get it. Otherwise, we can't hear you right.
Rohit from Geo. My question is like more than 60% of your users must be visitors, not the SIM users. So how are you providing them the services? Like if the services are not working, where are they contacting and
Can you
how
speak up a
the
little bit,
feedback?
Rohit? We're having to start again. You need to speak up a little bit.
Okay, so I know Phuket, your 60% of users must be the foreigners or the tourists. So how the feedback system is working? Like, are they willing to call to somebody somewhere, or they need to go to some stall? How is the feedback system working? Because if system is
support
not
or-
working, you don't know.
For support or for onboarding?
Yeah, support and how the
Onboarding.
performance is, because they're not going to call back to your call center or somewhere.
Yeah, so if you have a lot of foreigners, obviously, are visiting Phuket, and how do they, first of all, how do they know about the system perhaps as well, and how do you get data from them, and do you log some information on the performance towards foreigners? That was your question, right? Some of it.
Yeah, so I'm making it simple. If I'm a user using a SIM with 100 baht a local call, definitely I'm not going to complain, like the Wi-Fi is not working. But is there any mechanism installed, like so that you can check the KPIs of the users directly? Because the feedback system is not there. That's the problem everywhere we find.
Yeah, so but
They
this
are not going to call us. So
Right.
how to check the customer experience?
So this one's a really simple one because it's all again about the cloud, and the information that's getting collected goes into a dashboard that CAT and Spotworks get full access to. Basically, you can set the KPIs so you actually get told if you're not reaching the KPIs that you're targeting. So setting alarms and things like that. So it's around visibility, and you get visibility of every client that connects to that network through the cloud.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I think that's going to be it for this panel. I really want to congratulate you on a great project, and thank you for coming and supporting us. All of you from Spotworks and from CAT and RJ, thank you also for coming and joining the panel. Thanks very much, everybody.